did not get to finish my morning routine like I wanted, so I'm actually gonna journal in the car and read as Kyle drives, because we still have to go to the warehouse by 7, just so then we can be there earlier than the team and prepped. And I know that we all fall on the fallacy of like new year, new me. The only reason why I'm actually pushing hard for my hands is because I started in November, and the peace and ease I found within my day and myself when I actually followed the morning routine was amazing. But then the holiday season really threw me off, because once the holiday season starts, I end up reacting and adjusting to my day versus starting my day off with this moment of silence and peace I need to really collect myself. So to me, it's not a new year, new me, it's a new day, new me. So every day is an opportunity to do my habit, even if I, again, don't wake up at the same time every single day. It's just for me to go through the motion until I get used to it and become second nature. Because the only thing this year that I'm valuing is myself and prioritizing my mental well-being above all else. Because at the end of the day, yes, I want to get these orders out. Yes, my business still needs to run, but I can't run if I run myself into the ground.
Go ahead, mold it out. For today, I'm not gonna really go over this.
The visualization and manifesting is also fun when you can also do like vision boards and all that stuff. So I worked with Kendall to, instead of like finding all these pretty pictures on Pinterest, I thought to myself, what if I could become the vision that I keep pinning? So I'm so excited to share with you guys that after she's editing it currently. I cannot wait to share that with you. That was such a fun photo shoot. I know that was a topic that I brought up on last week's vlog, so I want to continue that conversation on visualization, what that means to me and how I do it and view it. So manifestation, if you're new to it, I actually highly recommend you read this book, The Magic of Manifesting, 15 Advanced Techniques to Attract Your Best Life, even if you think it's impossible now. It was a really good book, and even though I had read a lot about manifestation, it definitely shifted my perspective in new ways, and that's all you really can ask for whenever you consume content. So manifesting is how we think, we act, and we speak. So I'll give you an example of each. So how we think. I always like to, if I'm faced with a challenge, I always like to think, okay, there's always a way out of it, or there is a way to figure it out. And part of the thing about how we think is like how we view ourselves. There are things about myself that I don't like. Like I don't like the way I speak. I don't like the way I say certain words. But I've realized that the way I speak, like everyone's gonna have some kind of accent or speaks a different way. But for me to really hate myself because of the way I speak does me no favor and does me no good. So instead of saying, oh wow, I really hate that, or me re-recording this video like 10,000 times, I'm accepting what is, because I'd rather have my energy focus on bigger and better things than how I speak and how I sound. And then the way we speak, exactly, it kind of goes hand in hand with the way we think. Just what we speak, what we think, we end up speaking into existence. So I'm very mindful of that, and yes, it may sound like I'm an optimist, but it's because I came from such a negative environment where it was everything's just too hard, or like we can't do this because X, Y, and Z. It made me want to be this person that could see all the potentials and possibilities, because I grew up with such a sense of lack. I wanted to create more of a sense of abundance in my actual life going forward. Everything we do in life is a choice and a decision, and it's up to us to make the best decision for ourselves and the way we act. That's why morning routine is ever so popular, or building healthy habits that support the lifestyle we want to create. It's why that's so important to creating the reality we want. So that's what I do when I visualize and manifest as, what are the crazy goals I want to achieve? Can I visualize myself in that moment? I do a lot of meditation, so that helps a lot. So one of the practice that they usually will, one of the technique that they will share is a perfect day. So you, starting from the moment you wake up, what does that day look like to the minute you go to bed? Because the thing is, the perfect day doesn't just exist somewhere in the future. It can actually happen now. So that's the power of manifestation and visualization. It helps you understand that the reality that you want to create is not in some future time that will happen one day. It can happen today. Continue to share my process of reviewing 2022 into 2023. So the next thing is reflection, because you can't move forward without actually taking a minute to reflect on what happened in the past and how we can learn and grow from that. So I actually used Jay Shetty's 7 questions for reflection, and actually what I did was I did it with Kyle. He's my partner, and he's the person I want to do life with. So I actually took the time to sit down with him, and we went through each question individually and then share them with each other. So if you have a partner, I highly recommend you doing it with them, because it was actually very eye-opening for the both of us, where we may not have shown up for each other and what we can do better to not only further our life together, but our relationship with each other. So I hope these questions will bring you as much insight as it did for me. I loved it so much. And then next step was my goals. Okay, so we talked a lot. This is gonna be a one long video. And then the next thing was how I said that I was going to share my Notion. My Notion was all about breaking it down to actual attainable goals. So if you guys want to actually visually see that, I can, but what I'm going to do is actually map it out instead, because my goals are very personal and I don't want anyone to compare their goals to mine, and I don't want anyone to use it as a benchmark either. So instead, I'm going to kind of give you a blank template of how I view my goals. So we all know that as a small business, most people is like, well, I want to hit $1 million. I want to hit 6 figures. It's always monetary and it's always number related. So here's what I have to say about that. Because someone tried to interview me and they wanted to talk about my numbers, my growth in business. And I actually asked them not to focus on the numbers, because I feel like there's so much more to being a business owner than numbers. There's so much more than just hitting 6 figures, and there's so much more to understand when it comes to hitting 6 or 7 figures. It's the fact that we don't get to keep all that. Just because you see this number at the end of the day doesn't mean that that's what actually goes in our pocket. It takes so much to run a business. When we only focus on numbers, I feel like it devalues all the hard work that goes around to getting to that number, and it's trying to hit those numbers can actually be a traumatizing experience for most small businesses. So I feel like it doesn't pay respect to all the hard work that goes into it. I feel like that's such a clickbait way to acknowledge business. I preface that because I want to share with how I do still use numbers, but without it being my end all be all. So yeah, that's just how I feel about these numbers, because I need to kill myself to hit these numbers. I will not be sharing what our numbers are, because I just don't think they're relevant in the grand scheme of things, honestly. So instead, I'll say how I use numbers. So I will come up with a goal. So like JG, I would like JG to hit X amount. The reason why I still have to use numbers is because I still need something measurable to compare these goals to make sure that we're all on the right track regardless of whether we hit these numbers or not. Then after that, I'll create milestones. So I'll create projects that will actually carry us to this goal. So for example, if I know that we want to grow on Amazon, what do we actually know about Amazon? What systems are we creating for Amazon? So for the milestones, which I will show you guys this part, but be to take this Amazon course I have, so we can actually know the in and out of Amazon, then create systems based on this Amazon so then we can stay on top of it. So that's how my brain works and how I break down projects. And then the definition of success and done is when all Amazon's running on autopilot. Same with our Etsy, same with our Shopify, same with our Fair. And let's say that I want to make X amount. I also will look at Shopify last year and see our breakdown from where all of our traffic and our sales came from. So on Shopify, did it come from Instagram, Facebook, email marketing, X, Y, and Z? I will find the percentage of revenue in correlation to the overall revenue because that will tell me where my strengths and weaknesses fall. So this is getting really businessy, but that's how I would map out my goals because you need to still have a number to base off of, but it's not your end all be all. So from there, I will create these milestone projects, delegate where I need to delegate, and take on what I need to take on, and map it out every single week on our monthly calendar. So we all hitting these milestones. Milestones are projects that move the business forward. So this helps us stay out of working in the business, but working on the business. So that's a little bit of how I do all my visualization to manifesting to goal setting. Hopefully that helps you guys too. I realized we covered a lot, and I know I could talk for days on goal setting, visualization, manifesting, and if that's something you guys are interested in, just let me know. I'm always happy to share the things I've learned.